Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 8th February. Okay, so we will cover both 6th February and 8th February articles. Okay, so we had missed on the 6th February part. Also, we are sorry that we could not hold the online lecture, live lecture today. You are getting the recorded video, but we will try to cover the important articles from the Sunday's newspaper and today's newspaper. Okay, so these are the important articles. Let me tell you what kind of articles that they appeared. First of all, the review, and then we will discuss them in detail. So, men's related article on the magazine page of Sunday's newspaper, there is one article talking about emotional intelligence. Okay, I will be giving you reference कौन सा कब का article है, right, on कौन से page पे है. So, emotional intelligence is on that magazine newspaper or magazine supplement on Sunday's newspaper. Now, it is part of our ethics syllabus, GS4 paper, directly it is syllabus topic, emotional intelligence. So, here we will discuss the definition of emotional intelligence, meaning of this concept, and along with that the components of emotional intelligence I will explain here. Also, the various, let's say, aspect related to emotional intelligence, like importance of emotional intelligence, and also we will say that significance for civil services civil servants. Okay, its significance for civil servant. So, that aspect we will cover here. And especially the article talks about a need of emotional intelligence during the pandemic time, how it is creating problems and why emotional intelligence is important during pandemic time. Now, specifically prelims related articles, today's there is text and context page, and it is talking about Vande Bharat train. Okay, so it is important from economy perspective, infrastructure, railways, prelims part, some of the characteristics, salient features of the Vande Bharat train. So, there can be question in the prelims examination. Also, it is relevant for mains examination because this year's union budget, the government announced the 400 new Vande Bharat trains will be rolled out in next 3 years. Okay, so this is important announcement from infrastructure perspective, right? Then next is 216-foot tall statue of Vaishnavite Saint Sri Ramanujacharya at Muchintal inaugurated by Prime Minister. Okay, so this is news from Sunday's newspaper. Now, this is important. Why? From history perspective. He is the saint from the Bhakti movement, and that's why about Sri Ramanujacharya, basic points. Then about Nayanars and Alvars, basic points. About Ramappa Temple, because Prime Minister has mentioned about the cultural heritage of Telangana, that particular region, and he mentioned about recent recognition of this Ramappa Temple by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. We had covered this in the Hindu analysis. There will be, we will have the revision here from art and culture perspective. Also, there is let's say Sunday's newspaper, Sariska Tiger Reserve, front page news. Okay, so they are talking about increase in number of tigers in the Sariska Tiger Reserve, and how the corporate sector through CSR activities is investing in we can say construction of various water holes in the Sariska Tiger Reserve, and the prey base has also increased because increase in the grass cover. Okay, so this has resulted into increase in number of tigers in the Sariska Tiger Reserve. So, we will try to find out again the basic information about Sariska Tiger Reserve. Environment. Okay, then Operation Ahat, AAHT, this is the operation to curb the human trafficking. This is launched by RPF, Railway Protection Force. Specific operation by Railway Protection Force. Okay, so how this railways are generally used for trafficking of the women, children. Okay, especially for long distance trains are used. This is the cheaper mode available, and we can say that this is the one of the transport or method used by the traffickers. So, that is why RPF will use its resources to detect such kind of human trafficking on the railway lines. Operation Ahat. Then Rajasthan is going to be the first state having the separate agriculture budget. Okay, so this is again important development from agriculture perspective. It can be asked in the prelims examination. Okay, and finally practice prelims MCQ on today's current affairs. Yes, so first article, be self-aware and empathetic. Now this article talks about the concept of emotional intelligence. This is part of our ethics syllabus. This is incorrectly mentioned here. Okay, it is part of our ethics syllabus, emotional intelligence. Okay, so first of all let me show you last year mains examination question. What are the main components of emotional intelligence? Can they be learned? Discuss. Okay, so we will try to address this question also during this discussion. Okay, so first of all, what is emotional intelligence? Now, emotional intelligence is the quality of human being wherein the person is able to understand the own emotions as well as the emotions of others and is able to manage those emotions so as to have the socially desirable outcome or the behavior. Okay, I will repeat the definition. This can be used in your answers itself. It is the ability of the human being to understand the emotions of self as well as others and manage these emotions so as to have socially desirable outcome or socially desirable behavior. Okay, so this is the definition. There are a total 4 components as given by Daniel Goleman. He is important, we can say, thinker, or he has given or studied this concept in detail. Which are these 4 components? Yes, self-awareness, social awareness, and we can say self-management, and social management. This includes social skills and empathy. Many times they write 5 such components. So basically social skills and empathy, that is included here in the social management. Okay, so these are the 4 components. Briefly let me tell you the meaning here. Self awareness means be aware of own emotions. Okay, like emotions like anger, emotions like we can say jealousy, emotions like happiness. So we should be aware about our own emotions at particular situation, how our emotions are flowing. Okay, so when we are aware about that, we will be able to manage them. Okay, now how we will be able to aware, how we are aware about our own emotions? When we are deliberately, and we can say the cognizant aspect, that is deliberately we are trying to find out, knowing about these emotions. Simply when we meditate about something. Okay, so we will try to find out how we are behaving, what kind of thoughts we are getting in our mind. So simply that is self-awareness. Also, whenever we are reacting in a certain situation, giving a pause and thinking about what kind of emotions that in our mind are there and whether these emotions are correct. So we need to manage those emotions. This is very important. Okay, self-awareness. So then self-management. So this can be simply we can say the self-control, managing our own emotions. Okay, so these emotions can be managed when we practice meditation, yoga. Also, when we have different kind of, let's say, read motivational books, and we try to practice this in our day-to-day life, self-management. Then we can say social awareness. Social awareness means simply we should the person is able to understand and the emotions of other people in the surrounding. Okay, be it at household level, the family members, or the society outside it, or at work also in the organization. So this is social awareness, how the people are reacting to certain situation, how they are feeling in the particular situation. So this is social awareness. And then social management, how to manage their emotions. This is very important quality of the manager or the leader. Okay, social management. So how to react in a particular situation by understanding the others' emotions, interpersonal relations or social skills, effective communication, all is dependent on the social management. So having the empathy towards the other people, it is also part of social management. Okay, so all these are the components of emotionally intelligent people, and they should have these qualities so as to be emotionally intelligent. Now comparison with IQ, emotional quotient, so or sorry, intelligent quotient. So emotional quotient and IQ, intelligence quotient, they are different from each other. How they are different? This IQ is related to largely innate capabilities or inborn capabilities. Okay, it is about, we can say, the cognitive aspect, or largely it is about the aptitude of the person. Okay, so like for example mathematics, mental ability, okay, or quantitative aptitude. होता है ना, आपके एग्जामिनेशन में भी आपको ये सॉल्व करना है, क्वांटिटेटिव एप्टीट्यूड, एप्टीट्यूड, सीसैट सेपरेट पेपर इज देयर. Largely it is related to IQ. Okay, it is related to IQ, but ethics paper if you are talking about, so again there the personality of the person is also there. Okay, so yes, emotional intelligence. Now this IQ cannot be improved above certain level, but EI or emotional quotient can be improved. Okay, it can be improved, and also it is related to attitude of the person. It can be improved through training. Okay, it can be improved through training. So this is the difference between EI and IQ. Okay, and the Daniel Goleman says that IQ is important to get success. It is important to get success, but to maintain that success, we need to have EI. And further improve your success, the EI is very important. So he says that for success at work, this is 20% important, while 80% EI is important. Success at work. Okay, so importance of EI, especially during pandemic times. Simply we will understand the importance that productivity of at work, when the person is having high emotional intelligence, there is high productivity at work, because the person is aware about how others are behaving. Also there is teamwork, because there will be effective communication. People know how to behave with each other, communicate with each other effectively. This overall improves the productivity of the organization. Okay, so effective communication is also important aspect. Then good interpersonal relations. This is also important, we can say, the outcome of the person having high emotional intelligence. Then empathy towards other people. This is also important aspect, especially when we talk about civil services or civil servants. So they should have empathy and compassion towards the weaker section, right? So this is, and then we can say that they are qualities of good leader, manager. For them, these qualities are very important. Okay, so good interpersonal relations, this is also important quality of a manager or management, or we can say the success at work. All these aspects are important. Now especially during pandemic. Why we are saying during pandemic? Because during pandemic the level of anxiety, stress, depression, mental health, these issues has increased, and it is affecting the productivity at work, it is affecting the work life balance, and therefore we need to have the emotional intelligence. Also we can say that with the family members it is affecting the work life balance, work from home is happening, also there is some kind of interference between the personal life and the private life, and how to balance that, it is the quality of emotionally intelligent person. Okay, how to overcome these mental health issues, this is important quality of emotional intelligence or the person having EI. Okay, so that's why we are saying that during pandemic it is important. Relevance to civil services. Yes, civil servants are facing lot of challenges in day-to-day administration. Continuously they are facing many challenges, in-house challenges, external challenges, they are continuously meeting with the people are coming with their problems, we have to solve the problems, there can be pressure for those solving the problems, there can be external pressure by the media, there can be external pressure by the political executives, seniors in the hierarchy. So how to deal with that pressure, that stress of the work? Emotionally intelligent civil servant can only be deal, otherwise there can be buckling under the pressure, or they can succumb to the pressure. Okay, so that's why for civil servant. Second aspect is related to social justice, and they are tasked to deliver this social justice aspect. Welfare schemes are to be implemented, and for that purpose they need to have compassion towards the weaker section. Empathy, compassion, that will come from the emotional intelligence. Okay, so this is the relevance for civil service. So the success of the civil servants, it depends on how they are emotionally intelligent. Okay, so this is how, then can they be learned, these components we just now talked about that. Yes, that can be learned through training, sensitive training, mentoring, mentorship by the seniors, yoga, meditation. Okay, so then meditation, then we can say that the role modeling by the seniors, सीनियर सिविल सर्वेंट्स, ये सारी चीज़ें जो होगी तो इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस कैन बी inculcated or built. So this is part of our syllabus, this kind of question can be addressed here. Okay, now moving on to next article. When will new Vande Bharat trains will be launched? Yes, the 400 new Vande Bharat trains were announced for next 3 years in this union budget. So about Vande Bharat trains, brief information about this relevant to our prelims examination. Let's find out this. Vande Bharat train is indigenously designed and manufactured semi-high speed train, self-propelled, that is touted as next major leap for Indian Railways in terms of speed and passenger convenience after Rajdhani trains. Now dubbed as Train 18 during the development phase. Earlier it was called Train 18, now it is Vande Bharat. They operate without locomotive. Prelim statement. They operate without locomotive and are based on propulsion system called distributed traction power technology. Now, how it is working? It is the distributed traction in each car of the train, there is powered. Each car of the train is powered individually, and this is how the distributed traction power technology works. Vande Bharat coaches incorporate passenger amenities including onboard Wi-Fi entertainment, GPS passenger information system, CCTVs are there, automatic drawer, also rotating chairs and bio vacuum toilets. First Vande Bharat was manufactured by integral coach factory at Chennai. Okay, under Make in India program. Then it has carrying capacity of more than 1100 people. It can achieve the maximum speed of 160 km per hour. So this is technical information. It has also intelligent braking system which with the power regeneration for better energy efficiency. So power regeneration, जब भी वो ब्रेक करता है तो जो ब्रेक अप्लाई होता है, राइट, सो आफ्टर अप्लाइंग दैट ब्रेक, that the frictional energy is converted into again storing of that energy for further propulsion. Okay, now like anti-lock braking system used, ABS in the vehicles, automotives. Currently 2 Vande Bharat express trains are operational. This is important. One between New Delhi and Varanasi, this was launched first, and then the other is New Delhi to Katra. Okay, so these are Vande Bharat 2 trains. Now 400 new trains will be launched in next 3 years. Now moving on, committed to ending inequalities, the Prime Minister was inaugurating the statue of 216 foot tall statue of Vaishnavite Saint Sri Ramanujacharya at Muchintal near Hyderabad, Telangana. Okay, so he talked about the tributes of Sri Ramanujacharya and Alvars saints. Who are Alvar and Nayanars? The Bhakti saints, we will also know some important information about them, difference between Alvar and Nayanars. Also, the Prime Minister talked about recognition of Ramappa Temple in the Warangal district as World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Also, Pochampalli village in Telangana is recognized as let's say World Tourism Village by World Tourism Organization recently, and also the heritage by Satavahanas and Kakatiya dynasty in that region. Now, who was Ramanujacharya? The Bhakti saint, born in 1017 AD in the Sri Perumbara region of Tamil Nadu. Ramanujacharya is revered as Vedic philosopher and social reformer. He travelled across India advocating equality and social justice. That's why the word Statue of Equality. The name to the statue is given as Statue of Equality. Ramanuja revived Bhakti movement during the medieval era, and his preachings are inspiration for other, we can say that, poets like Annamacharya, Bhakt Ramdas, Tyagaraja, Sant Kabir and Mirabai. From time to time he was, let's say, when he was young budding philosopher, he appealed for protection of nature and its resources like air, water and soil. Then he has written 9 scriptures known as Navaratnas and composed numerous commentaries on the Vedic scriptures. Okay, so simply this is the important information about Ramanujacharya and why this statue is called Statue of Equality, because he advocated social equality. So he advocated that the people, irrespective of their background, they should be allowed to enter into the temples. So he preached in this manner. Also he propagated the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. All the universe is one family. So you can understand that even the Vivekananda had this propagated this philosophy in the recent times, most recent times, and earlier you can see that the Ramanujacharya, he travelled across India and propagated this concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now about Ramappa Temple, which got recently the World Heritage Site tag by the UNESCO. Okay, so it is also known as Rudreshwara Temple, Lord Shiva Temple in Telangana. Now it is outside the temple there is inscription in Telugu that describes Racharla Senapati Rudraya, the general of Kakatiya rulers in Warangal. Okay, so it is believed that he built this temple, Senapati Rudraya, okay, who commissioned the lake and the temple, which took 40 years of completion during the 13th century. Now, Kakatiyas, after breaking free from Chalukya's overlordship, ruled much of the central India up to eastern seaboard between 12th to 14th century. Kakatiya. Okay, there can be question about this also. Now, architecture about this Ramappa temple. So, in contrast to softer sandstone used in the temples of Khajuraho or carvings of chlorite, so in the Sun Temple of Konark, Ramappa's sculptures are carved of black basalt rock. The name of the rock is black basalt, one of the hardest stone to work with. Okay, so this is unique information. The temple is neither named after presiding deity Rudreshwara nor general who commissioned the project, but after the sculptor who built it, that is Ramappa. The sculptor who built it, after his name, the name of the temple is there. Okay, this is also unique. Temple rests on the foundation that uses sandbox technology. Now, what is this sandbox technology? With we can say that with the red sandstone and black basalt used to construct the main temple and the light bricks used for the Gopuram and Kupola. Okay, the dance guru Nataraja Ramakrishna used the dance poses carved in this temple to revive the Perini Sivatandavam, a Kakatiya era warrior dance form performed by the men. Remember this also, Perini Sivatandavam, Kakatiya era warrior dance form. Okay, so this is information about Ramappa temple. About Alvars and Nayanars, just remember that the difference between them, they were the early Bhakti saints or Bhakti movement proponents of the South India, Southern India. Okay, but the difference is Alvars were devoted to Lord Vishnu and his avatars, while Nayanars were devoted to Lord Shiva. How to remember this? The confusion, many a time students confuse here. So, Nayanars, you remember the third eye of Shiva, Nayan means eyes, right? So, Nayanars, you can remember that they are devotees of Shiva here. Okay, so likewise you can remember. And Alvars, Vishnu here, the other ones. Now, other differences, the hymns of Alvars were made into consolidated volume known as Divya Prabandha, while the high priest of Rajaraja Chola, Nambiandar Nambi, compiled the hymns into the series of volumes called as Tirumurai. The Bhakti literature that sprang from Alvars had contributed to establishment and sustenance of culture that broke away from ritual-oriented Vedic religion and rooted itself devotion as the only path for the salvation. This is Bhakti philosophy. Okay, so Bhakti philosophers or Bhakti saints did not emphasis on the idol worship or the following the Vedic rituals in detail. Rather, they focused more on the link between the self and the God. Okay, so there is no requirement of intermediary to perform all these prayers and practices, ritual practices. Now, Nayanars were from various backgrounds including Brahmins, Harijans and nobles. Along with 12 Vaishnava Alvars, they are regarded as important Hindu saints from South India. So, some names we have added here, saints of Alvars, Sri Andal, okay, और नम्मलवार, ये सारे नाम है यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं, तिरु नीलमकंठ, then Veeralaminda. These are the saints from Nayanar. So, one or two examples you can remember. This is relevant to our mains examination also, Bhakti movement. Okay. Now, Sariska wears the stripes of success. So, here the news is related to number of tigers have gone to 25 because of increase in prey base, as well as the private sector investment through CSR is happening to build the water structures inside the Sariska Tiger Reserve. Now, relevant to our prelims examination, it is located to Alwar district of Rajasthan, Sariska Tiger Reserve. Also, the scrub thorn forest, dry deciduous forest, grassland, rocky hills. This is the vegetation type. It was declared as wildlife reserve in 1955 itself and given the status of tiger reserve under Project Tiger 1978. It was declared later on national park in 1990. Okay, so first reserve in the world with successful relocation of tigers. Okay, so it was successful relocation of tiger happened. Yesterday we were talking about Sariska Tiger Reserve, not Sariska, we were talking about one tiger reserve in Odisha, wherein the success of relocation of tiger was not there. Okay, so the successful example is Sariska Tiger Reserve. It is rich in mineral resources such as copper, this area tiger reserve. In spite of Supreme Court's 1991 ban on mining in the area, marble mining in the area continues. Also, it is important biodiversity area, northern Aravalli's leopard and the wildlife corridor. Okay, so this information is sufficient for Sariska Tiger Reserve. Operation to curb trafficking launched. Okay, so what is that name of the operation, remember, and by which authority? Operation AAHT, AHAT, and by Railway Protection Force. This is to curb human trafficking. Okay, so human trafficking, those involved in human trafficking, they use railways as important means for trafficking, and the long distance journeys they are carrying out, and many a times these traffickers, especially the children and women, girls and women, so they are trafficked for different purpose, we can say, and to rescue them, rescuing this victim, particularly women and children, from such clutches of traffickers. This operation AHAT is launched by the RPF. Now, Rajasthan ready for its first separate agriculture budget. This is going to be the first separate agriculture budget presented in Rajasthan Assembly starting from 9th February. Okay, so this is important development, and it is going to focus more on water conservation and promoting sprinkler irrigation, as we know that Rajasthan is facing the scarcity of water. Okay, so focus will be on welfare measures of farmers and innovation to benefit the farmers. Okay, so simple question. First state to give the separate agriculture budget, so it is going to be Rajasthan, and along with that, next question, Ramappa Temple is located in which of the following states of India? So it is located in Telangana. Okay, so simple question can be asked, specific question in detail can be asked, statement based. We can prepare for that on the basis of this information. Okay, so these are the important articles from today's newspaper, largely mains related articles. They are not that much relevant to our examination, so that's why we are not covering them. As it is important that now you should focus more on prelims examination, we will also try that the prelims related articles and information is covered in those discussion of newspaper. Okay, fine. Thank you.